Call to order at 6 o'clock. So we have a forum, you guys know me in the first. Father, we come to thee tonight and pray for your guidance, all that you can do to help us make the right decisions for our district. And I pray that you would help us to be ones that would go forth and be good examples for the folks in our district. Be with all of our students and staff, and especially the athletic teams that will be traveling this Friday going to Stratford, and keep them safe and help them have a learning spirit in their minds and their hearts. And these things we ask in Jesus' name. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This flag, I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Okay, we have nobody signed up to speak tonight, but let's recognize our guests. Let's start with
I asked Ms. Brown to reach out to our students who participated in UIL and placed, and I just want to also recognize Mrs. Brown and Mrs. Carr for their hard work putting together and organizing UIL for this year. They did a fantastic job, and it was a lot of work, but it ran beautifully. Ms. Brown?
I invited 12 kiddos here, but 2 made it, so I'm glad these 2 made it. This is David McCullum and Tanner Osmond, if you guys want to come up.
Stick together.
Yeah. And if you guys, they're so nervous, sorry, but, and these are our 3rd graders. Tanner did spelling, and he placed 3rd place overall. And David did ready writing, and he placed 6th place overall. They competed against 6 other schools. We had 6 other schools in the district, and I just asked them to kind of tell a little bit about what they did. So,
hello, I'm Tanner Osmond, and I'm in 3rd grade. And so, when I competed in spelling, I had some big words and some small words, and
it's very hard words.
I am David McCollum. I am also in 4th grade. Whenever I competed in it, I was really nervous. I didn't know if I was going to do good or not.
What did you write about?
Yeah.
I wrote about the life at the zoo and how zoo people, how their daily life is.
congratulations. Good job, okay, someone here to speak for the Boy Scouts?
Grayson.
What am I doing?
Who we are and what we're here for.
So we're the Boy Scouts. We are here to do one of our merit badges. We are gonna listen to what some of y'all are saying, and we have to talk about it and discuss it with some of our family members. And what the Boy Scouts is just, it's a group of boys that are learning about life.
And I got the pleasure of meeting all of these boys and attending one of their meetings earlier in the year. We talked about elections and Bill of Rights and Constitution and stuff like that. So you're a great group of kids. We're glad you're here.
Okay, we'll move to open forum. We had nobody signed up to speak, so we'll go into our financial integrity rating system Texas report.
We're required to do this each year, Ms. Courtney is going to talk.
So if you'll go ahead and open this, because this does have to be open as public forum on the agenda, and then we have to close it. Because I can give the report, and if they have questions, they can ask them during open forum.
Okay.
So if you don't mind opening it at,
Okay, we'll open it at 6:05. Public forum, financial integrity rating system of Texas, first report.
well, welcome to the public forum to discuss our first report for St. Fridge ISD. And some of you are probably not familiar with the first report. And like I stated, in school finance, we talk in acronyms a lot. And FIRST actually stands for the School's Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. And the system looks at how well the school district manages the finances. It helps ensure that the public schools are using taxpayer dollars responsibly and following sound financial practices. The purpose of the FIRST system is to encourage school districts to manage their money wisely so that the funding goes as much as possible directly to the classroom instruction and to the student learning. And so the very first thing we have to talk about on the first report is the disclosures. And what this is if the school board had training and we fed on meals, or if they went to a training, we have to put on there what each member had. We also have to put on there what we did for the superintendent. So those numbers are on there. It also says that we have to have the superintendent's contract, and I do have it if anybody wants to look at it, but you can also look at it on our website. And as long as it's available on the website, we're in compliance, and it's up there for 12 months until we put the new contract up there. But as far as the reimbursements for the school board, last year we just had a training here and we provided dinner for them, and so it was about $35 per board member. The superintendent was $5,275, and unfortunately that probably doesn't reflect what was spent just for Ms. Searles, but some of what Mr. Garrison did as well, because we were in the transition of Mr. Garrison coming in, or going out, and Ms. Searles coming in. And so he was doing some training for his, and she was doing training, but we just took it all out of superintendent. Nobody received outside compensation for consulting, or if y'all did, y'all didn't let me know. Y'all consulting other school districts. Nobody got paid a gift to be on the board, to sway them, or any of that. And it just goes through and tells that. But overall, our financial first rating is an A, which is a superior achievement. And that's on the next document, Ms. Kendra. Not the next one, sorry. That's the superintendent's contract, if anybody wanted to see it. But this actually is our first rating, and it tells you that we received an A. Our district score was 98 out of a possible 100. So, and honestly, I would love to take kudos for this, but I know Richard was here, and a lot of what was judged on this was the budget that he had built. And so, and we have an amazing team. Wendy does a great job, Bill does a great job. It's not a one-man person that gets this. It is us working together as a team and having communication that helps us score better on this. But they look at all the things from how we budget to how much we stay in budget, if we have a fund balance, if we don't have a fund balance. And it breaks it up in there. Does anybody have any questions on the first report? You are free to close.
Okay, we'll close the open forum at 6:09. Moving to new business. Consent agenda.
The only thing on the consent agenda this time is just to approve the minutes from our December 3rd and December 10th meeting, and there were no changes to those minutes.
Okay, have a recommendation, I have a motion.
I move to approve minutes from December 3rd and December 10th meetings as presented.
Motion by Logan, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Josh. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, moving to the regular agenda. Discussing possible action on GMP for Phase 2 of the bond projects, junior high, high school band hall renovation.
see, so we have representatives from Page and Associates and Chauber Meggett here to talk with you guys about the GM and the renovations.
Yeah, so my name's Freddie. I'm with Chauber Meggett and Associates, which we're your architects for this project. Right to my left is Page and Associates. They're going to talk about some of the budgets that we received. We're bidding for Phase 2, and then I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what Phase 2 is. As you know, Phase 1, it was the elementary school. A lot of that stuff has been done. It's been turned over to you guys. So now we're moving over to Phase 2 of this project. This one, what it has basically the high school, band hall, and junior high. So the high school, we're renovating some of your corridors to match some of the existing tile that you have along there, removing some of the paneling systems that you have. There's a couple of restrooms near your competition gym that need some work, so we'll be updating those, completely redo, bringing it up to code for TAS, Texas accessibility standards. And at the competition gym, that's a little bit more of the work that we'll be doing there. Basically new basketball goals, electric, retractable, new paint, new acoustical panels. So that one gets a little bit all kind of just a facelift, which will be nice. The next one is your band hall. This one, it's a little bit more extensive work. We're basically redoing a lot of those spaces. New flooring, new ceiling. Some of those spaces are getting relaid out. Some of those restrooms, again, just to bring them up to code. But that's a completely redo. Again, bringing sound attenuation panels throughout, just bringing up the spaces fully back to life, I would say. And then at the junior high, there's some, I guess, problems with the EFIS that you have along those facades. So we're going to come in and remove basically that EFIS that you have along there, completely remove most of that, and come back in and put a metal panel throughout and take care of some of those issues, some of that water that's kind of getting back in there into the wall, and just make it a little bit better for you guys. But at least that's a quick overview. I don't want to take up much of your time, and I'm going to let Nathan with Page Associates talk a little bit about the numbers that we received during bidding a couple of weeks ago.
Sir. Nathan Colwell, I'm with Page & Associates. Thank you guys for having us. Like Freddie said, we took bids last Thursday. We had good participation, really good in the big categories like electrical and mechanical. So on the elementary project, we did the same process and walked through this document. And, please stop and ask questions if we come to one. But I'll just kind of work through this. It lays out the process. There's a few items I'll hit on. But really this is the culmination of that bid day last Thursday. You can see on the first page there, the far right column is all the bids that were carried over, the bids that we would recommend be awarded subcontracts. And then the middle column under materials, those would be vendors. So that's the difference in those columns. And then you see all of those categories listed like building, demolition, concrete, masonry, etc. So we'll let you kind of look down through that. We'll read those out to you. On the back page, we'll get to the actual bids. Below that, you'll see the section general conditions. This is the cost to do the work, to supervise, to provide cleanup and trash cans and things of that nature for the job. So we can kind of work through those. You see superintendent, foreman, those would be those supervision to ensure a safe workplace. Layout survey, field management, again, just things, items that it costs to actually run and manage the job. These would be considered on the main job. And as we work through these items, where monies aren't used, they are returned to the owner. So that's one good thing about this. I did want to get to the second page, the third item from the bottom on general conditions. There's some gym floor protection. Like Freddie mentioned, the gym is going to get pretty much painted throughout, open structure, all the metal, walls, things of that nature. Goals are going to be demoed, so we put quite a bit of money there just to protect that gym floor. In our experience, we can try to, make tracks or do certain sections, but it's way better to just cover the whole thing. And what we've asked the subs that are going to be working in that area is also provide their own protection, so we're kind of doubling up on that. Again, whatever's not used would go back to the owner, but it's just worked better to just cover the whole thing. So, continuing down, then you get into the taxes, insurances, things of that nature, and then it starts to just culminate at the bottom in those numbers. So if you just jump down, fee based on the contract was 3.85%. We did include a 4% contingency. I think that's in line with what we do on the elementary. Contingency would be unknowns that pop up, scope that wasn't included in the drawings, things of that nature. We would communicate with the district and the architect and get an approval to use that fund. I think on the elementary, we spent just a couple $1,000s out of like 40. So again, anything not used there goes back to the owner, just a protection. So totals, the total amount, which would be that GMP number, is $2,377,398, roughly $148.59 per square foot are those last two numbers. You guys have any questions on that before we look at bids and bidders? Okay. Turning to that third page, building demo. There's quite a bit. Freddie mentioned that fascia on the junior high. That's a bulk of this demolition, tearing off the EFAs. There's some underlying structure that has to be demoed. So we typically do building demo, and most subcontractors or contractors do that. So there's no one that bids against us. That's why there's only one bidder there. Concrete, similar. We still perform concrete. Not a lot of concrete in this facility, just where plumbing is going to be moved around in those bathrooms. Masonry, we had one bidder come through for us there, and that's a lot of repairs around windows and under the fascia, so minimal amount of brick masonry work. Next page, concrete reinforcement, that's included in that concrete number, so there's no number to calculate there. Carpentry is a big one again on that fascia. There's a lot of structure that has to be built before that metal panel can be placed on, and this also involves installation of all those items you can see listed there: doors, hardware, toilet accessories. That all falls under the carpentry for the labor, blocking, those sorts of things. And again, contractors do their own carpentry, so no one bids against other carpenters. Millwork, ProWall, very good company we work a lot with out of Amarillo. They actually did your millwork at the elementary, and so we're pulling them over. They're excited about that opportunity there. Next page. Roofing and sheet metal, this is a big item, and probably the best, I think the best roofing contractor around. All-Star Roofing was awarded, or was recommended to be awarded. They'll be putting in all of those metal panels on the caulking and sealants. Red Palmer group that we work with a lot. They'll do a great job. Doors and hardware, Royal Architecture. Again, great company we work with a lot. Not a whole lot of doors, but there are doors, especially in the band hall renovation. Glass and glazing, had good participation there. Glassing was pulled over for that. There are a couple of exterior windows and then some interior office windows, I believe. Drywall, this was a big one, and you can see the list of items that are listed there that have yeses. So we really scoped these guys out to make sure, because the fascia, again, has a lot of internal framing and clips and things that fall under these guys. So we really scoped them out. CPDA out of Amarillo, worked with them a lot. They're a good group to work with. Answered all the questions. I think they'll be good to work with and get that prepared for those metal panels. Also, they'll do the interior drywall, acoustical ceiling. Painting and finishing, ProWall. This was a good one we had participation on. And you will see on there, they initially had that acoustical wall covering in the band hall, but that was picked up by the drywallers, so that was a deduction. So their bid actually went down, that was pulled over, but a good group to work with. Next page, resilient flooring. This is that tile like Freddie mentioned, that'll match your existing in the hallways and in the restroom floors. Rick Lovelady, but probably have all heard of Rick Lovelady, great to work with. I think he's done some work for the district in the past, so it'll be a good one. Specialties, all of those items that are listed, same group that's doing the doors will be supplying those. And musical storage, this was when we had the scope out, the Wanger kind of pre-made was specified. Pearl Wall had done some cabinetry for instrument storage in the past, and so the district, well, Ms. Soils looked at some pictures, and these guys make some good products, and so they were pulled over there for the instrument storage. Next page, gymnasium equipment. We mentioned the goals, basketball goals, and the pads. A group called Go Athletics. Talked to them on the phone at length. Sounds like they'll be a good group to work with. So we pulled them over. Window coverings, just a few sets of blinds that will be going in. Emerald quality blinds, good group out of Amarillo. Mechanical plumbing, you can see the participation there. Larry Baker, I believe out of Pampa. Talked to him at length. I think we called him 4 times, just checking and asking, and feel really good about him. So you can see there all of his yeses, and we pulled him over. Electrical, again, we get 7 bidders, which is really amazing. These electrical guys are hungry right now. And group Cornerstone, do a lot of work with them. They're out of Amarillo. Great group to work with, and so they were pulled over on our GMP. That last item is allowances. I want to speak to that just real briefly. Mechanical, electrical contingencies, we put that number out there for a couple of reasons. One, anytime we're demoing plumbing, we inevitably run into something under the ground that we didn't see, so we've got some monies allotted for that. And then with data centers, you probably have heard all that. The electrical guys are getting hit pretty hard with manpower right now. So just trying to look ahead for your protection, for our protection, to say we've got some monies if we have to start supplementing work and manpower. Again, just like contingencies, if we don't use that money, it goes back to the owner. So that's just a protection based on really those two things. I know that was a lot. Any questions for me or Freddie, or this is Brent Ham from Page. Questions for him?
On the roofing, the 5-year warranty, is that just on their installation and then the 20s on the metal? Is that right?
I believe, let me turn it back here. I think you are correct on that. I can double check that.
I'm just curious. Thank you.
Jason, did you discuss the baby changing tables with them?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I think on that roofing, I think it's just the band hall. It's more just patching in where we're touching along that edge, we're replacing that cap in a way, so they have to kind of come back in and kind of just basically weatherproof that again and kind of rework that little edge condition for the water just to drain properly.
So that's not on the junior high?
It's on the junior high.
Oh,
Junior
okay.
high, yes. On top of that EFS that you have right now, correct, all along there.
Where's Cornerstone out of? I never heard of it.
We're out of Amarillo.
Emerald, yes.
Yeah. They're doing a lot of work for us in Pampa already, and they're smaller outfit, but very capable, and he's got long-term committed guys with him, so that's a plus in our minds for sure. Overall, though, the budget here was quite a bit lower than what we projected. So again, last time I think we were here, we were amazed at how the elementary school being almost the same scope as the job we've done 3 or 4 years prior, came in at almost the same price, 4 years later. And I think it looks like the pattern continues because it's attractive numbers again and well below what our estimated opinions of probable cost came in at. And I think we'll even be having savings coming from the elementary school. We'll have those numbers coming for you, here in the next couple of weeks now that one's wrapping up. So it's been good participation with all the subs and great working with you guys. And it's just really come off without a hitch all the way through.
Knock on wood.
Yes, for sure.
I did show them this too, what y'all said about the sound panels. This is like the sample. They took the graphic that was on there, and it's gonna look really nicely. Is it gonna be like individual small panels, or are they gonna be really big? Do y'all know what those are gonna look?
What's that?
They're 9 by 9. I think it's gonna be one panel. It might be 4, but the overall is gonna be 9 by 9. There's gonna be 2 of them. This one, and I think it was a school song.
Yeah, it's something else that was next to it. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what it is, but it's gonna look really nice.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Did y'all bring drawings?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, Doug, I was curious, we can look at them.
It's a lot of information.
Mainly just that high school.
I'm sorry.
The bathroom in the high school.
Okay.
I was just curious about that.
So here's the demolition. Pretty much just gonna cut the entire ceiling, wall, fixtures, walls. Here's everything like that. And some elevation shows.
At one point in time, I was talking about going into the auditorium, gaming room that way, but, yeah, that wall stands there.
Yes, correct, yes. This one over here, it's gonna be over
Okay.
this one will be TAS and.
Oh, I see what you did, you took one same,
Yeah,
same.
yeah, we didn't have any more room, so we're losing a sink in each restroom. But we're gaining the wheelchair
It's
space.
hard to do big with water, man, they're 2 6. For sure. One ain't gonna hurt.
Okay, I was just curious.
Okay,
Thank you.
anything else?
No, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Jason, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I think they did a great job coming under budget. Again, they did a great job on the elementary, and so when we got the numbers, we were very pleased with what they gave us and looking forward to them getting going on it.
Does the plumbing include getting hot water to the bathroom?
Why do you need hot water?
Okay, take that as a recommendation from Jason. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the GMP for the junior high, high school, and band hall renovation as presented.
Motion by Doug, I have a second. Second by Chad. All in favor? Motion passes.
We're gonna take a minute to sign these real quick.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to hang out.
Sure.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Really? Of course.
I mean, you can hang out with us.
You gotta wait till after closed session.
does anybody else need to sign or just me? Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a safe trip home.
Thank you.
Okay, discuss and possible action on 2025 annual financial.
And we're actually gonna table that for today. Our auditor did not have everything ready to go for tonight, so in a little bit, we'll come up with a call. We're gonna do a call meeting, soon
Okay.
to do that.
I'll move to table that. I make a motion to table that till next meeting. Have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, discuss possible gun safety program for students.
Yes, Ms. McCowan was approached by Micah Anderson about talking about a possible gun safety program, and I wanted you guys to hear his presentation before we made a decision about whether we were going to do this or not in the schools. It's just so he can tell you about the program.
First off, thanks, Ms. Cowan, for asking me to do this. For y'all that don't know me, I'm Mike Adamson. I'm a patrol corporal with the Border Police Department. Been over there about 6 years. I'm also part-time here in Fritch. So when I first came over here, when I was first asked to come over here and do part-time, I noticed that there were some things in the schools that, for me personally, I wanted to see get up and going and all that. One of them was getting with your guardian team and getting them guys some training, which we've done twice. Awesome. Those guys did great. It was super, super good training. The second one, when I was with the Potter County Sheriff's Office, some of y'all may know him. Mickey Blackman was the crime prevention guy over there. They had a program called the Eddie Eagle program, and it is designed from pre-K through 5th grade. And basically what it is we go into the schools and we talk to these young kids about gun safety. What to do if they see a gun. What to do if their parents have guns and they see it laying out. What not to do. It's free of charge. I reached out to Sergeant McKinney, who took over for Sergeant Blackman. It's free of charge. They're willing to come over here from Amarillo. They bring all kinds of literature. They bring the smaller kids coloring books and flyers and stuff to take home to the parents and reading material and all that. And it's an all-day event. And basically what it is back when I haven't seen it in a while, but back when I helped Mickey do it, we would go in, we would talk to these guys for a little bit. There's a video, I think it's like 10, 15-minute video. During that time, I would escape out the back and actually, is there any 5th graders in here? What grade are you in, buddy? Okay, you're good then. Actually go back and get into an Eddie Eagle costume, and then at the end of the video, we did a little skit to where I would come out, kids would go crazy because they really didn't believe that there was one, and me and Mickey would do a skit about finding a gun at school or finding a gun here. I don't know if you guys noticed much, but here lately I've noticed there's been quite a bit of an uptick in some child shootings around the country. To me, we live in Texas, everybody's got guns. It's very important to get into these kids at a very young age, and believe me, I did this 4 years ago with Cheryl, with Officer McDowell in Border. I brought it over there, and those kids see me now and go, hey, you're the Eddie Eagle guy. You're the guy that brought Eddie. And they still know the exact same saying that we teach them, and we did it one time in Border. So it's very effective. It's very neat to the little kids to bring something in like that. We originally planned to do it 2-day, but they approached, and I understand where they're coming from too. So I made a phone call to Sergeant McKinney, said, hey, I'm gonna go to the school board, I'm gonna do this, and I'll give you a call and let you know. So I'd like to bring it to the elementary school. There's a couple other things that we can bring to the junior high and high school. I'm still working on that. Even though I don't live in Fritch, I went to school here, graduated from here, so this will always be my home school, but it's something that I think would be very, very beneficial to the younger kids to get that in their heads. Hey, what do we do if we're out and we see a gun? I don't know if y'all heard about it a few years. It's been probably 10 years ago. There was two elementary school students in Amarillo. They were out playing, and they actually came upon a weapon, and one of them picked it up and accidentally shot the other one, instead of doing the program, which is, tell them stop, don't touch it, and go tell an adult. So that's the Eddie Eagle program in a nutshell, as quick as possible. I don't want to waste you guys' time. I know y'all got a lot to do, but with y'all's approval, I'd like to bring that to the elementary school and do pre-K through 5th grade and see how it goes. I think it'll be a very good program. Any questions?
In light of the tragedy, New Year's Eve, and everything, it's a good program.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, like I said, I still have students from Border come up to me, and I didn't even dress up. They brought somebody over. I still have students coming up saying, "Hey, you're the guy that was with Eddie Eagle," and blah blah blah. And I said, "Well, what did Eddie Eagle say?" And they'll sprout it out. So it's a good program. Any more questions?
Are you okay with this?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we just wanted you guys to give your blessing before that way if you get questions or concerns from parents too, you've heard about it and we know that it's good with you guys.
Easy questions to answer.
Yeah.
All right, so you plan on doing that pretty quick?
Yes, are you going to be at work tomorrow?
I will.
Okay, I will get a hold of you tomorrow, see what kind of day we can set up, and get a hold of Sergeant McKinney as quick as possible and get it over here, because she books up fast. So we'll get it done. But I'll give you a call tomorrow. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Okay. Discuss ESL program evaluation for 2024-2025 school year.
Ms. Clark's just going to let you know the state of our ESL program.
So you could skip a couple pages, Kendra. Next. So right there just kind of gives you an overview of what ESL kiddos we currently had last year enrolled. Last year we had 11, this year we had 9. And the reason for the difference is we actually had one kid who tested out, which is really great, and one kid graduated early. So that's the difference in the numbers there. On the 2 pages over, Kendra shows you, so the ESL kids take a test called TELPAS, and that shows you the different levels that they can get: beginning, intermediate, advanced, and advanced high. And so to test out of TELPAS, they have to get an advanced high rating. So we had the one kid last year get that advanced high rating, which is great. That's just what the next couple of slides say. If you'll go to the one more. So that's our STAR results just for our ESL kiddos. So for every STAR test taken in the district, 76% of our ESL kiddos pass the test, which is fantastic. When you think about, we probably had only 5 in tested grades, so probably there was 9 or 10 tests given, so that's probably 2 tests that weren't passed out of those kids. So those are really good numbers. For our ESL kids, we do have to have teachers that are ESL certified in English. And in years past, we've had to file waivers because we would have a teacher that's not ESL certified. But this year, every one of our teachers in English and ELA are ESL certified, so we didn't have to file a waiver. And that's about it.
Looks like it's going well.
Nope, no action. Just information.
Okay, anybody have any questions about that? Okay, we'll move to discuss and possible action on Texas Association of School Boards, TASB, policy update 126.
This was the large policy update I put in the board meeting last time, just for your information last time. This time we'll go ahead and try to approve that. Basically, this is all of the legislation from the summer, the big session that they had. A lot of the big things in here include like the updated meeting times, where we have to post that so many days ahead of time. They changed up how the consent agenda has to be, which we've always done it this way. The consent agenda, we just do one vote on every item in the consent agenda, and now it's in policy. The policies also prohibit any DEI activities. That was a big push through the state this year. DEI, no DEI curriculum, no DEI activities, so that's a lot of the policies. There were a lot of policies related to cybersecurity and training, AI, and how schools can use AI in schools. The designating of the private spaces and athletics, which we've already, done our procedures on how we're doing that. Some changes on contracts and how we do contracts with teachers. If they are engaging in DEI activities, they can be released from their contracts, or, because that violates the law. No social transitioning activities in school. It dealt with the prayer, which we did a resolution last time, that, not having the religious text in school. Parental rights, this has a lot of the parental rights, which we've talked about a lot over the last several sessions. This just puts it all in actual policy, which we've already talked about. Library materials, which we talked about. And child abuse reporting timelines are now updated. We have to report child abuse within 24 hours, and this actually puts it in policy. So, and then a lot of the policies that were in there were related to grievances, which we updated our DOI policy last time. So now this actual update puts everything into place and gets our policies updated to meet what the legislation says.
All right, anybody have any questions on any of these? If not, have a recommendation, can I have a motion?
I move that the board advertise or delete local policies as offered by TASB Policy Service for consideration and according to the instruction sheet for TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 126 with the following changes: DGBA, FNG, FG to reflect SFISD DOI updated plan testing.
Have a motion by Chad, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Josh, all those in favor? Motion passes.
Oh, that's a crazy one. Otherwise, you would have had to say every policy.
Yeah, that's right.
I would have.
Right?
Okay, we're going to go to the next item, which is discussing possible action on House Bill 2, delay of certification plan.
Okay, if you'll see we have to, so House Bill 2 is one of the legislation items that passed this summer, and teachers, we can no longer hire teachers starting next year in grades K through 5, reading and math, who aren't certified. And then following year, it moves on up to the secondary level, and it actually covers all core subjects that following year. So as long as we come up with a plan, and this is our plan, Ms. Carr actually wrote it up, that shows what we're planning on doing, which we're working currently with our teachers who are uncertified, all the principals, Ms. Carr, we've all chatted with them and told them they've got to get certified. We're not going to be letting people keep on dragging out. So they've been already told that they won't be dragging out. But on page 2, it shows you where we're at with uncertified teachers currently, who we have. These teachers basically get, the ones in the red can get, since they're here now and they're working for us now, they can go ahead and finish getting their certification done next year. And then the green ones are the secondary ones. They've got until the next year. So it's a little bit of grace period, but they have to be grandfathered in. You have to approve this plan, and then I have to submit it to TEA also, and TEA has to approve these teachers. But starting next year, if we have, if we lose a teacher in reading or math grades K through 5, we have to hire certified teachers. I did watch a little bit of a Zoom today. They said for some reason maybe we come up with a kindergarten teacher. We need to hire, can't find a certified teacher next year. We can still file for like an emergency certification if they're in a current program working on that. So there still is a little bit of provisions, but they're trying to tighten up the certification rules where they're just not tons of teachers out there not certified and teachers, districts not making teachers get their certifications. We currently have been, and we've been doing this for a while, we pay for our teachers if they, we're offering to pay for our teachers if they pass their tests. We're going to pay for that certification. So we're doing some things to help supplement that. We're going to work with their programs. We're letting them have like a local day to go take their tests, trying to encourage that to get done. But the state's tightening the reins up on certifications. So we just have to have this plan in place to be able to get these last few teachers done.
We did already, did we not, Jason? When you were superintendent, we gave him 2 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I feel like we were kind of trying to get on the right track.
Yes, we were. We've been doing that, and those teachers that have been dragging their feet out have been told they won't be having a job if they haven't gotten their certifications done.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? Not, I have a recommendation, can I have a motion?
I move to approve the SFISD House Bill 2 delay of teacher certification plan.
I have a motion by Doug, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Logan, all in favor? Motion passed. Okay, approve a donation of an amount of $1,200 from the First Southern Baptist Church.
Yes, First Southern Baptist Church donated $1,200, and they would like for that to go to the renovation of the Teachers Lounge at the elementary school. That was done several years back, before I was even the principal there, and the furniture's falling apart, and they need a revamp, and so they've generously donated this to help with the reno of that.
Any questions? Okay, I have a recommendation, I have a motion.
I move to approve the donation or any donation in the amount of $1,200 from First Southern Baptist Church.
I have a motion by Josh, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Stacy, all in favor? Motion passes.
You didn't lobby for that, did you?
I'm sorry?
I said you didn't lobby for that, did you?
No, it was a shock. And they brought us lunch, a check and lunch in the same day. It was great.
You did good.
That's right. It was a good day.
Okay, last item on our regular agenda, approve Kimberly serves as District Investment Officer.
Yes, and so since I'm now officially superintendent, I haven't been able to be on I haven't been on the accounts as a public investment officer, so now I just need approval to do that. So I can be on there when they support me and.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Not, I have a recommendation, I have a motion.
I move to approve the resolution appointing Kimberly Searles as a district investment officer.
I have a motion by Stacy, I have a second.
Second.
Second by Doug, all in favor? Motion passes. Okay, campus reports, the elementary principal.
All right. Well, December was a happening month at the elementary. It always is. Our teachers conducted their middle of the year testing, and I'll share some results with you guys at the end of this. We have our Christmas parties. Santa Shop was always a big hit. Our first and second grade programs. But the highlight of December was absolutely Coach Moose dressing up as the conductor of the Polar Express and taking our life skills students to Chris's Kitchen. They were so gracious. They had a little table with hot chocolate, and the kids had a great time. And then someone in the neighborhood that really goes all out for Christmas let them come to their home and take pictures. They had a photo booth, and so it was a great, great day. And our kids had a fabulous time. And it was actually the brainchild of our teacher, Michaela Maddox, because one of her students loves the bus. He doesn't get to ride the bus but he loves it. And so he got to get on the bus and take his field trip, and it was a great day. And we ended the semester with our Eagle rallies for December. In January, we had a great turnout at the elementary for parent conferences. The scheduled parent conferences went very, very well. We are celebrating our kindergartners for knowing their letters, and we do that at the end of every 6 weeks. We will recognize Holocaust Remembrance Week, and our teachers are getting their activities together for that. We have just scheduled our benchmarking for 3rd, 4th, and 5th for all of the STAR tested subjects. So our teachers will be giving their first benchmark, which is a release STAR test, the end of January, 1st of February. And then that data is not to be put in the grade book because it's not time yet. We haven't covered everything, but it is for us to dive in and figure out what we're not doing well and what we need to help students with, what our strengths are for different kids, what our weaknesses are, and really jump in and help through RTI get those weaknesses made up. And then we will turn around and take another benchmark in March that will give us better data. But our students are working hard and our teachers are working hard. We did meet this week twice with Region 16 with our math program, and it's a huge commitment from our teachers and our representatives from Region. Both of them just continue to praise our district and our teachers because we are leaps and bounds ahead of the other. I think there's 33 districts that are incorporating Bluebonnet. And because we have Brooke Moffitt and the buy-in from our staff, our teachers are thriving and doing exceptionally well, and so are our students. And so we continue to hear that. They love coming here. This is their favorite place. Now, they may tell everybody that, but they tell us that every time. And they really told us that this week, that they come here and we have all the pieces in place, and it's going very, really well. And we have the support we need with Jennifer, with Region, with Brooke, and we're seeing great things, and I'm excited about that. Safety, we love having Coach Moose come through and walk through our campus and check our doors, and it just gives another sense of security. We still have, Kay comes over and she walks through, Hajar will come over, he walks through, so we are still having lots of traffic. Our students are not afraid of policemen. They welcome them because they're out on the playground with them, they're walking through the halls, and I think that is a great, great thing. They're forming great relationships with our kids, and I love to see that. We're still conducting our monthly drills. We did go ahead and have our watchdog parent meeting yesterday. We didn't have a great turnout, just a handful of parents, but we're going to keep pushing that to see if we can increase that so we can launch it, because I think it is a great thing if we can just get it off the ground. So we'll still work on that. The couple of reports that I ran for you guys, if you look at where the arrows are, this is our NWEA, so we're measuring from fall to winter, so beginning of the year to mid-year growth. And if you'll run your finger down there on the percentage of students who met the growth, and we're looking at our first graders, we had 67% that met their growth. Second grade, we had 80. Third grade, we had 76. Fourth grade, we had 58. And fifth grade, we had 70. And this is math. So this is our math report. The next page is our RLA. And so in first grade, we had 75% meet the projected growth, 65% in second, third grade 72%, fourth grade 73%, and fifth grade 76%. So they take the test at the beginning of the year, and there's projected growth, how far they should grow, what they should meet for middle of the year. So that's the numbers that you're seeing there. And third grade is knocking it out of the water. I went into their classroom, I actually learned some things about fractions this week. It's a great thing to see. Our students are growing and making great gains. And then there's just some fun pictures at the end and our kiddos enjoying the different activities and dress-up days at the elementary. I do want to say that making the decision to leave this district was one of the hardest decisions that I've ever made, and I want you guys to know that I appreciated your support from day one. The minute that I walked into Fritch, I felt supported and loved, and I want you guys to know walking away was hard. And my grandbaby is going to be born February 25th. It was just scheduled, and I'm super excited to be able to hold him and walk him every single day, although my daughter's telling me I can't hold him all day. I'm going to. But, I love these kids. I love this community. I love my administration. And when you love the people you're with and what you do, it's hard to leave. So I just want to thank you guys for that. And I sincerely mean that.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
You'll make us cry.
We'll move to the athletic director report.
It's about 112. Obviously, we had quite a few great honors as we finished up the fall with obviously Kellen in cross country finishing, I believe it was 16th in state. Football program had quite a few boys honored. I'm not going to read all the names, but we had quite a few boys honored in our all district. Academically, I believe we had 14 kids on the academic all district, and then once again topped off by Kellen Henderson being the THSCA academic all state. Volleyball, once again, we had quite a few honors with our girls of having an undefeated district championship. And then as we moved into the winter sports, I think we've been doing a fantastic job. I think our girls basketball program has continuously grown from the beginning of the season. They are making progress each week. You can see the skills that they are gaining. It's not amounting at this moment to wins, but sometimes the process is more important than the wins and losses. That's at least my belief. Boys basketball, I don't know what it looked like before, but I can tell you this group of boys are playing together as a team. They are very, very impressed with what they've been doing so far. We've just started district play. We are 1 and 2 and currently sitting in 4th place, but overall they are 14 and 6, with an opportunity to have a winning season for the first time in the last few years. And then last Friday, softball kicked off, so we are kicking off into spring sports. This Friday, baseball kicks off, and track will start right around the beginning of February as we get ready for our Pantex relays and everything going like that. The kids are still continuing to work hard and put the work in the weight room, and like I said, our big focus right now is the process and getting that foundation built for the future, so.
Thank you, Coach. All right, we'll move to the business manager and monthly financial report.
You can just put up the detail in this is for December. We should be setting at 33% of our budget spent. Overall, the district is setting at 35.05, which is not too much over budget. The ones that were a little over, I highlighted, which is instruction, and that could just simply be us purchasing things for the classroom or supplies for the teachers. Could also encompass if any teachers have left, that might be why it's pushed us over a little bit. Health services, I'm sure it's because the nurses bought supplies that she's had to stock up on, and that's why it's kind of pushed her a little bit over. The general administration building, I'll be honest, I didn't look at that one too deep to see, but if you would like to know, I will definitely research that. I'm sure it has to do with the contracts, and the Region 16 contracts, we pay those quarterly, and it could be where it's fallen, and that's why it's going to push us over, because that is it. The reason why 93 and 99 are over is because our quarterly payments, where they fall, when we pay them, it shows that we're over our percentage of where we need to be, and it's just simply because we're making our payments and we have to do those. So, as far as attendance, the ADA is staying pretty consistent. The end of December, the number I had was 656.735, and I think the one before it was like 6. I don't remember what it last month was. But do y'all have any questions? Do y'all want to see anything different? I always ask. If y'all need something different, I'll bring something else different to the table.
That's good. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Kay? Okay. Curriculum director.
Who already did mine?
She did her use a little bit.
I don't have to.
Another one.
I'll give you another chance. Okay, superintendent.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, I got a couple things.
No, you don't.
You know, we've got a few projects going on right now, one of which is the junior high playground. We finally got the volleyball net up. I talked to Mrs. Brown, because, you know, we got a donation from Phillips a year or two ago for swings and other things, and so for the playground. So they wanted a gaga pit, and so I still don't know exactly what that is, but I've seen a picture of it now. So, and then we've got swings ordered to replace the swings, and so they should be here in the next month, and we'll get those up. You know, I was really happy with where the numbers came in for our next projects, our next phases of the bond. You know, because we've been able to, you know, we bought the bus, we were able to pay for champs out of the bond. You know, we went and did a nice elementary playground that cost more than what we had budgeted. And so, and it looks like we're still going to come under about $300,000 on the overall bond. And so I have a couple things that we'll present to you at another board meeting. Some of that is at the band hall, we have to do an asbestos abatement. And so that wasn't included in that part. That's something we have to do. So I know Rex is getting a quote. The guy was working on it Monday, so I'm sure we should get that any day and what that's going to cost. We got lucky, which really it's only the floor that has to be abated. That was the only thing hot in the band hall, so that was good. However, the last time it rained, the roof did leak, and so we did get a quote on replacing the roof on the band hall, because I feel like if we're going to put in, you know, whatever it was, $1 million+ into the inside, you know, it doesn't make sense not to keep it from leaking, and so we'll have a quote for you on that. But again, I feel like that all those projects will be covered and we won't have to pull any out of fund balance. So I'm excited about that. Also, our transportation director, I can't remember if we mentioned this or not, but he applied for some grants to replace the 2 older buses on the bus routes. And so he did get a notice that it's being reviewed, which is positive because there's several on there that have already been scratched off that they weren't getting it. So we still have hope there that that's going to come through, and he's keeping me updated on that. And then the federal impact grant, that has been fun, let me tell you that. Now it's my mission that we're going to do it. And so I've talked to a lot of people. I've actually made a lot of ground. I did get, you have to have acquisition records of when the government got the land to make the lake. I was able to get those this week. I got some tax values. The one that really I'm not sure is you have to have the taxable value of when it was acquired, and the appraisal district only goes back to '92 in their records. So I'm not sure. That's the one I'm tackling now, trying to figure out. I feel positive that will come, you know, we'll figure it out. I talked to, I had a Zoom meeting with the lady with the Department of Education, and her expertise wasn't our application. Our application is a 7002 because of the land. And so she got me in touch with another lady, and she's out of the office till next Wednesday, and I've got a Zoom set up with her so we can go through the application. I'm hoping I can get my values next week and we can get that submitted, because the application is the easy part. And then when you have to prove everything, that's when you have to have all the documents and that type of deal. So I've spent a lot of time on that and learned a lot about the lake. And then just to kind of give you, you know, originally when Mr. Hyde, he thought, you know, that it was a lot more than what it is, and then we got to looking at it. So actually our school district is 34 square miles, a little over. And so it's about 21,931 acres. And so the lake in our school district, the amount is 3,630 acres. That is federal land in our school district. And so in order to qualify, it has to be at least 10% of your district, and ours is a little over about 16.5%. So we're good there. And so, and it was kind of interesting, I got some values from 1995 of what that land was worth, and then I got the values now, and I mean, it's a substantial increase from then. And so it's been pretty neat going through the process. I'm ready for it to be over, honestly. The good thing is once we apply and we're accepted, basically you just submit it every year after that. You don't have to do the rigmarole. So unless, you know, they were to add land or something like that. But anyway, you know, we've been getting after it, and I'll continue on this until we get it done, so.
Keep time.
I apologize for skipping you, Jason.
Sir?
I apologize for skipping you.
Oh, that's all right.
On that van haul, is insurance any chance at all?
Well, we're still discussing it with them, so I'm guessing not. There's still a chance, so that's why I didn't bring that.
That's the only other one other than this, right?
Yes, yes, I believe so.
And I have one request. Can we look at possibly putting some light switches in the JV gym?
Yes,
versus
that's already on the
sticking
list.
panels? Okay.
Well, we're gonna replace the lighting in there, and when we do that, we're gonna put light switches in.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, Ms. Searles?
We do have a long list that Garrison and I have been working on with Rex and Bennett and several people, but we want to make sure we get through the bond and see how much money we have before we start.
I was talking to Jason about that when he
Yeah.
was superintendent. I'm just,
Yep.
even for any employee here,
It's terrible
just stick
trying
their
to,
hand in there.
those breakers. Yeah.
Hand stick off those if we need to fix.
Yep.
And we did, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but we did move the light switches in the, for the competition gym. They're not in that room anymore, they're on the outside of the wall, so that way no keys have to be handed out to get in these storage rooms.
So we have to hand a key in, right?
I believe, I hadn't even looked at it since they did it over Christmas break.
I think
so-
what Coach Bennett and I talked about, just to make it accessible, is we're only going to put the covers on during games, because it's just, there's not enough keys to hand out to everybody,
Right.
so.
Is that, I'm just asking a question. Why did we put the box on? I'm just curious.
I think the main purpose, after talking with maintenance and everything, was the potential fear of the lights being turned off in the middle of a game or somebody messing with it going down that hall. We do lock that hall, but with everybody, coaches, anybody admin coming through that hallway, if it gets left unlocked and kids wanting to mess, I don't feel like that is anything our kids would do, but the chance of somebody bumping into it. So we've decided that doing it on game nights would be for the safety of that. Outside of that,
Yeah, we're gonna leave
the
it.
access should be open to those who use our gyms.
That makes sense. Thank you for checking that.
Alright, so I've put in our numbers for our attendance information, and we've lost a few students, but we're really pretty much remaining steady. And Courtney and I had about the same. We're finding 88. So, and our attendance, 94.1. We're down from 94.8% in November. We did have 2 days at the elementary school where we had extreme sickness, especially in first grade. What I am going to do, I'm looking at those 2 days, and I'm going to file a low attendance waiver with the state just to make sure we're not due for attendance on those 2 days. So I started working on that. There's just some documentation that we had to have, and so hopefully that won't have any issue with that. Up at the top in the notes, I just put, we did receive a property value appeal. Purdue Brandon is the one that has done all of the property value appeals for us, and we just received one in the email last week from 2021, actually, and we didn't even know this was going on. And so they have filed it with Commissioner Morath and TEA, and I'm waiting to hear back from Purdue Brandon so they can explain to me exactly, does that mean we're going to have to pay another $70,000, or are we going to get money back? Like, what does that mean? I don't know how it really affects the values, because we keep getting these property, value appeals. So I want her to explain to me, are we actually, because the last one we got, they said it was already like settled up in our summary of finance, but we still had to pay them the $70,000 check. Well, with this one being 2021, summary finances, we've already been through all of that, so I don't know how that's gonna affect us and whether, you know, I'm assuming we'll have to pay them for this, but like, are we gonna get some money back? I don't
If
know.
they go back and it raises our value, our rate, if there's a discrepancy where they owe us more money, then we'll have to pay 10% of whatever money
Yeah, so
that they
10%
get us.
Yeah.
And so the $70,000 bill came from the $700,000 that when they went and fought and said, hey, those values are too low, y'all are messing over school districts, y'all owe them still this amount. That's where we got the $700,000, and that's why we have the $70,000 bill. And
So, yeah, we don't know if this is gonna show back up in our finances again, and so.
And I have a feeling that it's gonna be something that they do every year just because of the property values around here. And they did say, I talked to the lady at Purdue, and she said, I hate to say this, but y'all's values are going the wrong way. She said they need to be going up, and they're not. And that is messing the school district over with money.
A few times.
And I know if they come in and tell us that our values are up, the citizen would really be like, which I get. I'm a citizen. I pay taxes just like everybody else. And when I have to pay that big amount, it's not fun, but I don't want to take from the kids either. I want to do what's right.
We already talked about the watchdogs meeting and how that went. Our audit, we did need to table that because the auditor, so our audit was in October, and then the auditors, there's been some confusion about their due dates. They are assuming they said the state said their due dates were, what, March?
In the February could possibly be moved to March.
And so we've kind of gone back and forth with them about that. And then we were also waiting on, the auditor had a contract out with part of our audit. We were waiting on them to get numbers back. I called them last week, kind of raised a little bit of a stink, and then got some people getting our stuff done. But he's still working on the audit, and so we have to get this done before February 12th. So 2 dates that he has available. I was going to have you guys look at your calendars. I don't know if you're going to do this now at the end. But we've got to pick some dates.
We're going to meet for the team, right?
Yes, we have a team of 8 on February the 11th. So 2 dates the auditor can meet are either January 22nd or January 29th. I will be out of town the 22nd, but Mr. Garrison offered to run the board meetings so we could do the audit. The auditor would prefer the 29th. That gives him a few more dates because now he's having to compile all of these audits that he's somewhat procrastinated, and it really, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have a little bit filter. Anyway.
When's the hard due date? Do we have a due date on that?
We have mid-year PEMS that is based off of our audit, and we had to submit it.
We had to submit it without the audit being done, but we're gonna have to resubmit, but that's February 12th, so we have to have it done.
I think we need our date, not worry about their date.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 29th good for everybody?
I don't know if it'll be.
About the January?
And that's on a Thursday.
Yeah, it's not a Wednesday, so those were just,
That'll be,
yeah,
that'll be the only thing on that agenda.
it'll be the only thing on that agenda.
Probably an hour.
Okay. That's not the reason. But thank you.
Okay, so we'll shoot for the 29th.
Okay.
29th, okay.
February 29th is
Yes.
okay.
And then, so on, I have scheduled a 4-day-week public meeting just to inform the public about possibility of a 4-day-week, their thoughts, question and answer session. I wasn't sure if the meeting is on February the 5th. It's a Thursday as well at 6 p.m. here. I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to be here for the meeting. If so, I'll need to schedule it, and have an agenda just so we would have, if we have a quorum. Or if you just want me, I have the District Improvement Committee who has been in on the meetings. They're going to come to that meeting as well. If you would like for them just to be here with me. I just wasn't sure how you wanted to handle that meeting. Oh. Okay.
Anybody else gonna be able to make that?
It's February 5th at 6.
I'd like to go.
I probably won't be there.
No,
It's up there, that committee handle it.
and then a couple of them can show up if not. Okay. Okay.
Fine.
I just didn't want to not have an agenda, just in case we have a quorum, but, okay. And then the last thing in my report, Region 16 sent just this little report I thought was pretty interesting. She's compiled things, and so 2022, 2023 was the year that we started filling out our first TIA application. And then our 23, 24 was when we did our, started our data collection, that sort of stuff. Anyway, they wanted to show that they believe there is a positive correlation with our teacher incentive allotment and how our scores are rising. And I think we feel that we see that as well. And Ms. Carr's been working really hard, and she'll probably tell you more in a later meeting, but we're going to expand our TIA to every teacher in the district and give all teachers opportunities. We had a meeting recently and show them the ways. We're going to have some voting here before long on some different things to do that, but she's planning on filling the application out. It's due in, April, to expand our TIA for every teacher in the district to have the opportunity to earn this extra money. From what I understand, the state is against any more of those big raises, across the board teacher type raises, and they want it to all be merit-based. And so the TIA is the way they're pushing that, merit-based type pay, and so teachers are going to get the chance to earn in this. And they've also added a designation, so there's another level, so there's going to be 4 levels of designation, so that gives teachers 4 different, ways, levels of money they can earn. So I see this as a good thing. We've already been, set this in place to get going, and I see it's good because the schools that aren't doing it, this is going to be the way teachers get their big raises now.
I like merit-based.
Anything else? Any questions for Kim? Okay, we'll move to setting our next month's meeting. 11.
No, I'm just kidding.
What's the,
When's your next county meeting?
County president? I don't know. I didn't make the
She's
list.
good.
I got cut off.
Never mind.
We didn't have enough votes. Let's see. Dates. Is the 4th too early? Everybody else? 4th? Okay, we'll set it for February 4th, 6 p.m. Okay, I just want to take a second here to thank the Boy Scouts for being here tonight. If y'all learned something, or at least got some questions to ask. Any questions, feel free to reach out to Kim or me or anybody on the board. We'll see if we can help y'all with that. We're going to be going into an executive session now, which is probably going to be pretty lengthy, so I don't know if you want to hang around till we're done with that or not. You're welcome to if you want to. But if you'd rather go, that'd be great. So, okay, we'll call us into executive session. Deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, and reassignment duties, discipline, and dismissal of a public officer or employee, Texas Government Code 551074, to discuss superintendent evaluation and personnel matters regarding campus administration. Call us in at 7:25.
have time. Right, and their schedule, yeah.
Right, we'll call this out of session at 9:09. We have no action. So I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Meeting's adjourned.